learned not only from the study, but from your personal experience viewing stains on carpets or decompositional fluid. Can you look at this state evidence stain and render an opinion as to whether you believe this stain, or if you can see a stain, came from human decomposition?
Looking at the photograph, it does not look like a decomposition fluid stain that I have seen.
Okay. And that would include the numerous homicide scenes in which you've showed up and seen decompositional fluid on carpet stains, correct?
Yes. Homicides, suicides, natural causes, yes.
And
limited to that and that alone, sir?
Yes, sir. And is this photo a good example of what human decomposition, or let me rephrase that. Is this photo a good example of what decompositional fluid would look like on a piece of carpet?
Yes, that's why I included it.
Okay. And is this photo, specifically State's Evidence 80, a good example of what decompositional fluid looks like?
No, I don't consider it to be.
Now, sir, you were asked quite a bit about smell and the smell of the car during cross-examination. Do you recall those questions?
Yes.
Given the smell of decomposition, assuming that a body would be in a trunk of a car for a period of a day, 2 days, to several days, if, and this is a hypothetical, if someone ran out of gas a day or two after the body was removed, would someone be able to smell that smell of human decomposition that never goes away?
Speculation beyond this witness's area of expertise.
Sustained based upon the hypothetical.
Okay. Would 4 people be able to ride in a car after a body has been in there for several days and not smell the smell of a human decomposing body that had been in there for several days?
Objection. Argumentative beyond his area of expertise.
I think the witness is
Sustained.
You, sir, if I can have just a moment, Judge, I may.
You may.
Sir, you have never rendered the opinion that chewing tobacco smells the same as a decomposing body, have you?
No.
Okay. And you have never rendered the opinion that that dry trash is the same as the same smell as a decomposing body, have you?
No.
And any insinuation of such, would you consider that misleading in any way?
Commentary on counsel.
I have no further questions, Judge.
Recross. Dr. Huntington, what was the condition of the garbage when it was in the trunk?
Based on the photographs and evidence.
No, when it was in the trunk, not when it was retrieved from the dumpster, but when it was in the trunk. What was its condition?
I have no knowledge of that, sir.
So you don't know if it was in the trunk, whether it was wet or dry, do you?
I do not.
But assuming, for the sake of this hypothetical, that nothing was added to the bag between the time it was in the trunk and the time it was obtained by law enforcement, we do know that there was no food in the bag, correct? Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir.
So when something gets wet, non-food items don't all of a sudden become food, do they?
Unless you're talking about dehydrated food, I don't believe they do.
So whether it's wet or dry, it's still not food. Correct?
Not as I understand the definition of food.
Now, you've given us some opinions recently about adipocera and the appearance of a stain of decomposition. Are you a forensic anthropologist?
I am not.
In fact, you got your PhD in 2008. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
The same year that this happened, that's when you got your PhD, correct?
Yes, same year.
And you got your master's degree in 2005, 3 years before that, correct?
Yes.
Did you study adipocera or decomposition stains for your bachelor's degree?
I witnessed the presence of adipocere during my bachelor's degree. I did not specifically study it, no, sir.
So this experience that you bring to bear in answering the questions about adipocera and the appearance of a decomposition stain comes from your work of the last 3 years, since your PhD, or was it before that?
No, sir, it was well before that.
Okay. So since your master's in 2005?
It began before that, sir.
Well, when did it begin?
I began working for the Hancock County Coroner's Office as a assistant when I was in high school. I believe I started when I was 16, working for a mortuary service, and I've witnessed hundreds, if not thousands, of bodies in those conditions.
And your testimony, have you ever been qualified as an expert anywhere in the United States to render an opinion about the identity of a stain, Dr. Huntington?
I don't know that such a qualification exists, and no.
So this would be the first time anybody's ever asked you to look at a photograph and determine whether it is a stain of human decomposition. Is that not correct?
For this argumentative manner of questioning, sir. Overruled.
Isn't that correct, sir?
I'm sorry, could you ask that again?
Yes. And this is the first time ever in a court of law that you were asked to identify from a photograph whether a stain was human decomposition. Isn't that correct, sir?
When Mr. Baez asked me the question, he asked about a decomposition fluid stain. I don't believe he qualified it with human decomposition, but either way, the answer is yes, this is the first time.
Now,